Alright guys, welcome back to the channel, and today we having a bit of a podcast just discussion, right? And the discussion we are having is based upon the whole Lill video, where his conclusion and his is he believes that all preamps sound the same, right? Now I really appreciated them for the video, and I know a lot of work probably went into that. I know the amount of recordings and then changing. That was probably like the world of work to even do a video like that. I can't even imagine, having to go through so much ideas and concept and then piece it all together and try and make it make sense. Just to share with the world what you think about something. Now again, we have to remember the guy said that he's not a professional, but to his ears, he thinks that they all sound the same. And my thing is, could he be right that they sound the same, but saturate differently? Because at some point it's clean, and then it gets the place where it runs through the transformers, and that change the song, right? Now, I think what's driving people crazy, because if you look at my screen, right, we have a bunch of preamps here. And I think what's driving some people crazy is that a Behringer like this, which would be $178, and then you have something like a Neve, which is 2,900, and this one here, Golden Age, $300, and the Focusrite, $899. I think what's driving some people crazy is that they don't want to believe it. Now, we're not saying it's true, but I think a lot of people just don't want to believe it because they don't want to believe that $200 device could be or sound anywhere close to a $2,000 device, right? Because there are many times I have used devices and you get the first day and you think it sounds amazing, and then the next day is like you just don't like the sound of it. I've seen so many videos where people just changing stuff, and I think this happens that we hear something totally different one day from another, and we come up with all kind of conclusions as to why, whether it be the temperature or the room or the acoustics or aging. That's why I was really mesmerized by the topic, because I too had some questions about these, that do they all really sound the same but saturate different, right? And even the interview with Rupert Neve, where he and all said that those things weren't intended to happen, right? When they placed transformers, it was for stuff like hums and all these other things. The whole intention was never to really create a song. He wanted that clean, transparent song. And even he said that testing on equipment, he didn't believe in that. He believed that the human ears is so complex that it's hard to just boil it down into a test. But he understood that, they needed a way to keep stuff calibrated closely with each other. So if you sell a Neve, you want them to closely match. But he said the human ears is so complex with certain things, and we have even learned that, two gears do sound different. So my view is, do they really sound the same but saturate differently? Because he had the 1073 that had a transformer, and he honestly, like, he seemed like he wasn't really impressed by it. And then he came and he did the whole ISA, the Focusrite stuff, the whole console, where he wanted it to be like totally transparent. I think over the years they were trying to get transparency, but they had electrical issues, hum issues that they were trying to, and all these things were there really to try to help the song and not really create a song. But it just sounded that way and created a vibe or whatever. Now I know a bunch of producers that just really don't like the song of the 1073. What they do like about it is the fact that it softens certain syllables and mouth clicks, it doesn't make it as harsh. They claim that it's easier to remove, right? So from the get-go, they said that yes, it gives you a big sound, but in the mix, they have to trim off a lot of that to make space for other instruments. It opens up such a big conversation that will we ever get the answer? Will we ever really, But is a lot of the comments really based on a bias that a lot of people just want it to work? This is what I've thought and I don't want to change my idea. Or could it really be that, they do actually sound different? Or is a part causing the difference, the unintended thing? If you hear background noise, I'm sorry, because I'm just doing a recording home. So he did so much tests and tried to keep the position and stuff the same. But again, microphone grills, and he did explain a lot of these things. As I said, my main enjoyment was that I have had gear, and in the beginning I do like it, and then other days it's just like it just don't sound the way that you originally heard it, and you go chasing something else because someone said, yo, this is the big thing, or trust me, bro. Alright guys, but that's my take. Do they really all sound the same but saturate differently based upon parts that weren't really intended to really create a song in the first place? Because sometimes in the mix, when we do shape it to how we want it to sound, is it even really important that they do sound different? Because a song on, let's say, a 1073, a song on a warm, they're all going to be adjusted in a way just to fit the song or the vibe or whatever. So, let's continue on the comment. Let's add something in the comment and let's see if I can make a next video going on about this topic, and let's see how much we can actually learn from it. Alright guys, that's my video for today. The podcast, Jim Lill blowing up the internet with his discussion on dual preamps sound the same. What do you think, guys?